That was close. Okay, so just hanging out near near the train tracks. Just saw a train go by just a second ago. Scared me for a second. But I think we should be good right here. Oh, let's raise this up here a little bit. All right. Welcome to the stream, everyone. We'll get started in just a few minutes, right at 2 o'clock. Actually, like in 15 minutes. How's everyone doing? Where is everyone watching from today? Let me know. Where are you watching from today? It's different every time. We have different number of people every class. We have different people, different countries. I'm just curious. Let's see who I already recognize in chat first. Christopher Williams, Melissa Zimmerman, a couple people whose names I cannot read. Welcome. Honey Barbecue, Bonnie Runsfield. Hey, Bonnie. Welcome. 좋았습니다. 안녕하세요, 여러분. Yes. Long time no see. Or at least a couple weeks. San Diego, Texas, Brazil, Turkey. That's right, Turkey. It's changed, right? Changed last year. Uruguay, Ethiopia. Hey, Lexica. 안녕하세요. Welcome. Nigeria, but half Indian and Korean. Interesting. Lauren Holton, you watched the old live stream where I had to use the mirror. Yeah, that was we've come a long way, haven't we? From having to use like a vanity mirror to flip the image so that I could stream from my old cell phone, which the internet didn't work on it very well, so it was always like choppy. And there are a few live streams actually that got ruined by the internet signal on my old phone. And then we upgraded. I got an actual webcam, and I upgraded. I got an actual microphone. I didn't really have an actual streaming microphone. I was just using an old desktop microphone I had from back in like 2013. And then we upgraded. We got lights. I used to use $6 like garage like workshop lights from Walmart. I used those actually for several years. Then it upgraded again. You know, we got this, we traveled to these wonderful places. I was able to travel these wonderful places thanks to the magic of green screen. And then, yeah, we kept upgrading, it went from the webcam to now I'm actually using a regular camera. We've really come a long way, haven't we? Atlanta. For a second, I almost misread that as Atlantis. And I'd be like, gotta tell me how to go there. How can I get to Atlantis? Probably have the best Korean programs there. Texas, UK, Jamaica, Mexico, Illinois. We're making a song here. Quebec. Romania. Nice. Trinidad and Tobago. Guatemala and Norway. Welcome. Yeah, people are still just coming in. We'll get started in a bit. You're here early, anyone who's here right now. We have a intermediate level live stream today about the grammar form timo, which I'm sure all of you will encounter. It's very common. It's used all the time. The prerequisites for the lesson, though, today are that you're familiar with at least these two verb endings, ji and 조. Sometimes you might also see it as jiyo. It's the same thing. For example, hada can become haji or hajiyo or hajo, like that. You want to be familiar with this before we start today, just because if you don't know how to conjugate that, you won't be able to conjugate this form. But the form we're doing again is intermediate, and this is a beginner form, 100%. This is just a beginner form, but the form we're learning today again is intermediate. So that's the prerequisite. Also, if you know how to conjugate verbs, that will be helpful. As long as you're able to conjugate, that way you can understand the sentences that we'll be making today. We don't have too many sentences, and I'm going to have actually some of you make the sentences for this lesson as well, like I have been doing lately. It's kind of fun to have the audience try to make the example sentences before I give them to you. So we'll do that again a little bit today. And yeah, other things I want to talk about, I say this every time, still applies. You can get a worksheet for the live stream by going on Patreon. My Patreon link is in the description below. I will also, let's go here. Where is that? Where is that? Where is my Patreon page? I don't have a link to my Patreon page. Oh, here it is. There we go. Oops, I clicked the wrong one. Okay, whatever. There's merchandise too. I selected both of those. So Patreon is where you can support me, as well as on this channel you can join. If you join this channel, you also get access to watch the abridged versions of these live streams before everyone else. So you'll get to watch those right away, usually a couple hours after they finish. And then everyone else can watch it usually Tuesday, Wednesday, or Thursday, something like that. Hold on, we got a donation already. Zandria Waters, just popping in from Oklahoma. Love these lessons, even if I'm familiar with the concept. All right. I'm not too surprised. This is a very common form. It's an awesome review. Keep up the awesome guidance. Thank you, Zandria. Or Zandria. Is it Zandria like ah, or is it Zandria like ah? Or is it like Zandria? Something like just because. You're like, I'm special. It's Zandria. Thank you. 5 dabs for Zandria. And other announcements. Talk to me in Korean, 100%. They use that form a lot. Yeah, this form is used all the time in conversation. But I will say it's not, I'm not sure if there are many lessons about this form. I haven't seen too many grammar explanations about this form, despite it being used all the time. But yeah, you'll see it. As soon as you learn this, you're going to start hearing it all over the place. You're going to be like, oh, I just learned this form and now I'm hearing it today. What a coincidence. No, it's actually used all the time. Also, you should know that I have an active Discord channel. So it's always open. Some days it's more active than others, but it's always going. There's always stuff happening there. You can check out the questions channel. You can ask questions there. We also have an accountability channel. Most people don't know this because it's new. We just launched it last month or yeah, I think just last month or maybe 2 months ago. It's an accountability channel where you can post your Korean goals and keep yourself accountable for them. So you can post your goals and then post an update about how you're doing with your goals, and just kind of someone that you can share your progress with and encourage other people to do the same. That way, you know, you might want to set a goal for the new year, like this year I'm going to finally start learning Korean. But then, you know, after a month or so, you kind of realize, I don't really have too much time. It's hard to keep going. So it's just something to kind of help keep you accountable, keep you motivated to continue with whatever goals that you've set. So you can check that out as well. The Discord, again, is completely free. Although if you are a member, make sure to connect your Discord channel, connect your account. That way you can access the members only channel where I sometimes post stuff I don't share with everyone else there. Other than that, let's see, hi from Israel. Welcome. Someone says, what should I learn after learning Hangul? I do have, let me see, where is that? Do I have there we go. I have a beginner Korean course you can check out. I would start there. It's free. It's pretty simple. It's easy to recommend to people. I don't have to recommend people buy stuff. You just go there. You can start for free. It has Hangul in there again, but if you've already learned that, you can skim through it. Like you can watch the videos just once, but you don't have to review them if you've already done that. So I think that'll be nice. You can, and it's only like the first 8 episodes. The other 91 episodes or 92 episodes will be new stuff. So yeah, I think that'll work. Other than that, next Sunday we do have another live stream. So there's one today and one next Sunday. There won't be one after that. So just kind of keep in mind, if you're ever curious about the schedule though, I have a Google document with all of the schedule for my live streams. You can see which live streams are coming up. So you can mark those in your calendar. You don't have to wonder which days I'm doing a live stream and which days I'm not. They're already set there. It's 2 Sundays in a row and then 1 Sunday off. And I might change that in the future. I used to do 3 Sundays in a row, but when I did that, I wasn't able to work on other projects. So I changed it to 2. But yeah, other than that, that is all of the announcements I have to make. What questions do you have before we start? Or what do you want to say before we start today's lesson? I'm excited about it. I like this form and I was surprised. I've never taught it before. But it is really used all over the place. And I will also say This was one of the easiest lessons for me to come up with example sentences for. Usually for intermediate lessons or advanced lessons, I have to think about it a long time because I want to think about sentences that not only use the form, but sound like they're real sentences and something that's understandable to a student. But in this case, I just, I could say this. Oh yeah, I could say this. And just really quickly came up with a bunch of examples. I think I got like, I don't know, close to 20. The ones we're not doing today are going to be all on the worksheet. So if you want some more examples of this form, make sure to get the worksheet on Patreon as well. Is it a verbal conjugation? I'm not sure what you mean. It attaches to the end of verbs, if that's what you're talking about. I see what you're saying, Maz. Okay, I get what you're saying. Kind of difficult to focus. This might require a whole discussion. Like I also offer one-on-one consulting for this sort of thing, but just a really quick thing I would say without doing that would be, are you still motivated to learn, or is it just a focus issue? Because that would give me different answers. I would tell you a different thing, whether this is it actually a focusing issue? Or is this a motivation issue? If it's a motivation issue, I actually made a video for how to stay motivated that I uploaded a few weeks ago. You can check that out. It's in the Glass with Billy series. So there I give all of my tips, as well as my friend Forrest. He also gives a lot of his tips for staying motivated. If it's a actual focus issue, it could be a variety of other issues. How do you know what your level is? So Lorraine, I can't pronounce that. How does anyone pronounce that? But, oh, you deleted it. But I still read it. It's too late. I saw everything. I've seen it all. I've seen everything. How can you know what your Korean level is? It's arbitrary. It's subjective, or I guess the answer, not subjective. Objective or subjective, right? That's the right word. It's all your opinion. It's all your teacher's opinion. There is no such thing as actual Korean level. When I say intermediate, I have a different definition of that than the next teacher. There isn't an official beginner, intermediate, advanced category. I would say, and also it's not, there isn't going to be, because people learn differently. People learn in different orders. Someone might learn this form, simo, before they even learn how to conjugate, irregular verbs. I'm not sure. But are they no longer intermediate if they don't know something like that? It's really up to you. So it's really the only level you are is in comparison to whatever you're judging yourself against. So are you comparing yourself to the topic? Well, then take the topic. Now you know. Are you trying to find out what level you are with a certain resource's materials? Well, all you have to do is just read through the materials and find out where am I. And then I have my own criteria for what I think are beginner, intermediate, advanced. But again, those are also just my own opinions. I don't categorize them that way. I think I have a better way of categorizing them, but in the end, it's still my opinion. I would say intermediate is able to have conversations about most topics, most regular topics. Comfortably being able to speak Korean is intermediate. You can't say everything you want, and you can't say everything you want. You can't say everything in the way you want. And then advanced would be one step further. So advanced is, yes, now you can say almost everything you want in almost every way you want to say it. That would be the advanced. As far as like the Korean learners side of this, when you're talking about a native speaker's Korean level, well, it would be different. But then beginner would be anywhere that you're unable to still carry on a conversation without, you have to keep stopping and checking the dictionary. You have to keep asking them to define words. If it's interrupting your ability to have an actual conversation, then I would say any of that would still be in the beginner level. And that's quite a large definition. That's just how I define it, but there isn't really an official answer for that. Zandria is wondering about the lollipop. Are you talking about this lollipop? So last week, I actually was going to eat this lollipop. It's not a fake. It's an actual BTS butter official lollipop from, I believe, 2021. They made these. It was limited edition. They sold them only at like their pop-up in Korea. You had to go to Korea if you wanted to buy them, or else you could order them online from people who bought them. And they're expensive. And I got one. And I was going to eat it because I just wanted to eat it because, you know, it's candy. You eat candy. But it was saved actually by from donations. The person who donated, Andrea, was saved. So yeah, I've decided not to eat it actually. It's going to live to see another day, at least for another week. At least it'll survive for another week or so. I'm just going to let you know, I have to do a little bit of filming. I've got a project coming up that I'm going to be filming in about a week or two. And after that, though, I can't guarantee its safety, but I can at least for another 2 weeks. So for now it's safe. You should have bought two, one to eat. Oh, I have a whole box. I had a whole box. That's the last one. I ate it. I already ate one. But I forgot what it tasted like. That was back, 2021 I ate one. I'm like, oh, I want to have one. Do the chocolates still exist? Oh, no. I never had the chocolates. I had the caramels, or caramels, however you want to call them. I ate those. Those were okay. The butter cookies, though, were legit good. I would eat those again. Definitely. 10 out of 10 butter cookies. The almond ones were okay, but the butter cookies were where it's at. BTS related? Yeah. You'll see. I'll just say, I won't say that I'm doing BTS related content or not, but I will say that right now I'm preparing 7 videos to start getting uploaded on my channel starting from, I think, next month. That's all I'll say. I can't believe you forgot the taste. Yeah, I kind of forgot what it tastes like. I remember it wasn't that great, but it was okay. But that's all I remember. So I was like, I'm kind of curious. Maybe it's pretty good. I'll try it again. Yes. And then, yeah, for anyone wondering, today is the start of the what's known as Seollal. So the Lunar New Year is this weekend, actually. And it is the year of the rabbit. 2023 is the year of the rabbit. So if you have any Korean friends, make sure to wish them another Happy New Year. I know you just did it a couple weeks ago. Do it again. You get to do it twice. Okay, so let's get started with our lesson today. Again, thank you to Zandria for your donation. The topic we're going to be doing today is an intermediate topic. Again, let me write the form on the board first. The form we're going to be learning is easy to make. You just take a verb stem. So for hada, the verb stem is just ta. Sorry, that's the part you cut off. So for hada, you just cut off the ta and you're left with ha. You do the same for any verb. There's no special rules you have to use here. So you take a verb stem and then you attach ji, just like the regular ji or cho ending, like haji, hajo, like that. Then you add a space followed by mo. Now, mo means what? Literally, but it doesn't really mean what in this form. And then optionally, you might also see this form ending with a conjugation of the verb ida. So that can be something like 뭐예요, 뭐야, 뭐니. You get the idea. That's all you have to do. So what this form is at its core is a combination of the ji or cho ending with mo. So I said that mo means what? Well, actually here and in other uses, what can mean not just what, but also whatever. Yeah, whatever. 뭐 먹었어? 뭐 먹었어. So you can actually use 뭐 in context to mean something, as in, yeah, just something, like a thing. I'm not telling you what, but it's something. It's a thing. You can use it kind of like you would use the word 무엇인가 for what, for something. So here it's just kind of like saying whatever. So someone does something, 지, right? Whatever is the literal meaning of this form. It's just a combination of these two forms. Something else that you need to know about how to conjugate this is that I said verb stem. I didn't specify anything else though about that. That's because you can use this with both action verbs and descriptive verbs. And you can also use this for verb stems that are in past tense or even the future tense. So let me give you an example of each of those. For the present tense, we already have this one. So 하다 would become 하지 뭐. For the past tense, you could get 했지 뭐. So 했어요, 했다. 했 would be the verb stem in the past tense, 했지 뭐. And the future tense, 하겠지 뭐. 하겠지 뭐. And then there's one more thing that you need to know about how to conjugate it before we talk about what it means. You should know that the ida at the end, so I said that could be like 뭐예요 or 뭐니 or 뭐야. You should know that this ida at the end is actually optional. And you can see that already with these examples. You could just say 하지 뭐. Or you could say 하지 뭐예요, 하지 뭐야, like that. So it's optional. You'll see it and you won't see it. Note that the politeness level you're using will depend on that ending. So if you're just saying 하지 뭐, well, obviously it's going to be casual speech because there is no polite ending. You could say though, 하지 뭐요. And now you have something that is kind of polite because you're adding the 요 to the end. Or 뭐예요. Or 뭐야. And now you have casual again. So just note that the ending can contribute to how polite or casual this expression will sound. So that's how you make it more or less polite. Alternatively, I'll tell you this. You also can use this in polite speech, not as 지, but as 조. This is just a note for people who are already intermediate. You also might see 조모. In this way, it's a little bit more polite. It has a casual feel, but because you're using 조, it's a little more polite. However, you probably won't see 하죠 뭐요. It's okay to say, but it can sound a little bit less common. All right, so that's everything you need to know about conjugating this form. I'm going to leave it up for just a minute. I'm going to check the chat and see how everyone's doing. Make sure you can follow along with this. Hey, Carrie! 토끼, 토끼. Yeah. 산 토끼, 토끼야. 어디를 가느냐? 깡총 뛰면서. Something like that. 어디를 가느냐? That's the 산 토끼 song. Natalie says, I gave my Korean neighbor a lunar rabbit lottery ticket and she loved it. Yeah, that sounds like a really nice gift. And they scratches it and loses. But still, it's a nice gift. It's the thought that counts. Is it weird to use with 입니다? Yeah, you cannot use it with 입니다 because this form itself has a casual feel. We'll talk about that in a bit. Okay. All right. So that's how to conjugate it. And it's pretty simple. If you just write this down, you're going to be good, as long as you can recognize it. So this form is used to express that there's nothing else that can be done, nothing else that can be said or done. So here are 3 ways you might translate this. Well, oh well, something, or I guess something. Now, when I say I guess, I don't mean you're actually guessing, like I think. Not I think, but I guess, okay. That sort of I guess, like, oh well, I guess. So this is used to say that there's nothing else that can be said or done. In that way, you're saying like you feel resigned to your fate. Nothing can be done. So write that down in your notes. This form expresses that you feel, or the speaker feels, that nothing else can be done. You're just accepting it. This is my life now. That sort of form. It can also be used for that same meaning whenever something bad could have happened, but fortunately didn't. By that I mean, you're saying, oh well, could have been worse, nothing I can do. And in this way, you're kind of expressing to the listener that you're looking for sympathy, So when you're using this form, it has that feeling of, like what we would say in English, oh well, I guess. By saying this, you're kind of implying like, poor me. Come on, give me some sympathy. Come on. Look at what I have to go through. There's nothing I can do about it. Nothing that can be said or done. Oh well, I guess I'll have to do it. So it's used to kind of get a little bit of sympathy from the listener. Well, that's not a bad thing, but that's the feeling that it has. There's another usage that it has, but I'll wait a second before I tell you. So take a moment to write this down, and then I'm going to erase it. And then I'll tell you one more usage that it has. At its core, though, it really is just this. But there's another usage that you might see it used for, just in case if it doesn't match and you see it in the future, you're like, wait, this doesn't seem like they're trying to get sympathy. Maybe it is. So I'll let you know in a second. Hey, Omar. Omar, that would be an actual literal translation for even if I were to do something, like despite doing something, it's not going to make a difference. This one is simply saying, oh, well, something is a certain way. Something did something. Someone has done, or something will do something, or something will be like something, the end. You could use the forms together, but they wouldn't necessarily need to work together. They're not commonly used together. Okay, another couple seconds. I'm going to erase this and write the next part. I like just giving you how it's used before we go into it, but just make sure you have notes so you can refer to it. Okay. Another usage of this form is when you're explaining something to someone else. Specifically, when the listener is having trouble understanding you. So this is actually the same meaning, but it's just another way of thinking about it. If you're telling something to someone else and they don't get it, you can just say, 어쩔 수 없지 뭐. Like, hey, I'm just letting you know, oh well, there's nothing else I can do. But I'm letting you know, like, hey, you know, like I just guess there's nothing we can do about it. Like, come on, accept that. Understand that. That sort of feeling. This form really is more about the feeling that you're giving to your sentence than any sort of literal meaning. Because literally it's just, something happened, right? Whatever. That's the literal meaning. But the feeling you get is, if that helps. That's the feeling that you get. So that sort of sound, that feeling, can express various things in English. You can be like, I guess I gotta do it. You know, give me sympathy. But it could also be like, I guess just don't worry about it. I'm trying to explain it to you. I just guessed that. Just accept it, please. So, if you haven't already guessed, this form overall has a very playful feel to it. It's not a joke. When you use this form, it's not a joke, but it does have a playful feel. Therefore, this is not formal. Never. Which is why you couldn't say something like 하지 뭡니까? You couldn't say like 하지 무엇입니까? 하지 뭡니까? Because that would be formal. It would sound awkward. Because this form in itself, it does sound like the it's not formal. You're never going to go up to your boss and be like, your boss is like, where are those reports? They were due yesterday. Your job's on the line. And you'd be like, like, you don't do that. That's how you get fired. So it has a playful feel, like, oh, well, I guess. Oh, well. Kind of like you're giving off a sigh. Maybe write that down, a sigh. It's kind of like you're sighing in some uses. It's kind of like that. So you'll see when we get the examples, but yeah, it has a bit of a playful tone. Okay. So that's how to conjugate it. That's what it means. That's what the nuance is and everything you need to know about it. Except I haven't given you any examples yet. So let me give you a good example. I'll give you the first example by myself, and then the next one I want you to make. But the first one I'm just going to give you. 어쩔 수 없지 뭐. 어쩔 수 없지 뭐. 어쩔 수 없다. Literally is, there is no how, no way that you can do anything. You can't do anything about it. There's nothing you can do. 어쩔 수 없지 뭐. Nothing we could do. Oh well, there's nothing we could do about it. I guess there's nothing I can do. So by saying that, it's kind of like you want sympathy from the listener, right? Maybe the listener told you, like, quick, let's go and we can still finish it. And you're like, 어쩔 수 없지 뭐. Like, come on, like, there's nothing we could do about it. There's nothing we can do. We are just resigned to our fate. So there's nothing else that can be said or done. 어쩔 수 없지. There's nothing else we can do, right? Whatever. 어쩔 수 없지 뭐. That's what the meaning of this form is. That's the nuance. There's nothing we could do. 어쩔 수 없지 뭐. Okay, this one I want you to make. I want you to say this sentence. I will be able to do it. So, I will be able to do it. You can express, you'll want to use the future tense with that. I actually already gave you an example of future tense conjugation, so use that. I will be able to do it, but the nuance you want is, oh well, I'm sure I'll be able to do it. But literally all you're saying is, I will be able to do it with this form. Go ahead. Like a sigh or a shrug. Yeah. Yeah. If I keep doing that sound, it's kind of like a Seinfeld voice. 안녕하세요, 빌리 선생님. It's been a while since I last attended your YouTube classes. Just wanted to check in and say keep up the great work. I hope to be going back to studying soon. Thanks for stopping by, Alexia. Sophia Amanda, message retracted. I don't get a lot of comments like that, but thank you. I really needed to hear that today. Oh, you wrote it here. 내가 할 수 있겠지 뭐. 할 수 있겠지 뭐. 할 수 있겠지 뭐. 할 수 있겠지 뭐. Marav, check your conjugation. You can actually just look at the other people, how they conjugated it, and copy that. But yeah. 하겠지 뭐. Yeah? Okay. Lauren Holton, how is 어쩔 수 없지 뭐 different from 어쩔 수 없어. 어쩔 수 없어 is just, there's nothing I can do about it. And it doesn't have the nuance. This form gives it that nuance of, oh well, there's nothing I can do about it. Right? 어쩔 수 없지? 뭐 is the literal meaning. So you don't need this form simply to make sentences. You need it to add that nuance of, oh well, I guess. Like that. That's what you use this form for. I guess I can do it. Yeah. Okay. I would give you more time to keep working on it, but everyone already got it. Normally, I can do something would be 할 수 있다. So 할 수 있겠다 would be I will be able to do it. 할 수 있겠지 뭐. 할 수 있겠지 뭐. Oh well, I'm sure I'll be able to do it. 할 수 있겠지. 할 수 있겠지. I'll be able to do it. 할 수 있겠지 뭐. Yeah, I'm sure I'll be able to do it. So this gives it the sort of meaning. 할 수 있겠지 뭐. Oh well, I'm sure I'll be able to do it. Whatever. Now, don't worry about it. There's nothing that can be said or done anyway, but I'm sure I'll be able to do it. Okay. I actually don't need to rush because we have plenty of time. We're already like 10 minutes ahead of schedule. Okay. I have a long sentence. So this is for people who are kind of more toward the intermediate level, but I have a longer sentence that I want you to try to make. I wasn't planning on actually giving this one to you. I was planning on just writing it on the board myself, but I think I'll give it to you just for fun. I guess I'll just order pizza or something. Might as well just order pizza or something. I guess I'll just order pizza or something. How would you say that? If it's a bit hard, don't worry. I wasn't planning on originally giving this to you to do on your own. But because we have time, I am. Yeah, I'll just order pizza or something. How would you say that? I'm not gonna tell you anything. Actually, okay, I'll tell you one thing. To order something, like food or an item, not to order someone around, but to order something is 시키다. 시키다 is like to order something. It's like order something online, order something through an app, order food. 시키다. You could use 주문하다, but 주문하다 would sound more formal, like I'll place an order. Or I'll make an order would be 주문. Like I will make an order. If you said 주문하겠지 뭐, I will make an order or something. Like it makes sense, but you usually use 시키다 for just casually ordering something. Nice. I'm just reading them. Okay, I feel good. I'm glad I gave you this example, although it's more complicated than I was. So I wasn't really planning on giving it to all of you to do it on your own. Carrie, typo. Just remove the ha and you're good. Nice. Rebecca asked, could you use it like, I guess I'll have to walk all the way home all alone? Yes. 그냥 혼자 집까지 걸어가야 되는 거지 뭐. Yeah. I guess I just gotta walk all the way back home by myself. You could say that to someone and then they're like, fine, I'll give you a ride. That's the exact situation that you could use this form. And that's the exact answer that you're hoping to hear. And that's what someone would think that you want to hear. 내가 그냥 걸어가지 뭐. 어쩔 수 없어. 그냥 걸어가지 뭐. I'll just walk there. 그냥 걸어가지 뭐. I know you have a car, but I'll just walk there. And then they're like, 알았어. 내가 태워줄게. Okay, fine. I'll give you a ride. Like that. 오빠가 태워줄게. Like that. Okay. I can't wait to use it to guilt everyone. Yeah, totally. It can be used in that sort of way. It doesn't have to be. Like I said, it has that feeling of, oh, well. But you could also express, like, let's say you're with your friend and you both don't have a ride. You both don't have any way to get home. 그냥 걸어가지 뭐. Let's just walk. Like, you're not asking for sympathy from them because they also have to walk too. But you are expressing it kind of to the universe. Like, I guess we gotta walk, like that. So yeah, it has the same feeling. Hopefully you get this. Hopefully you understand this form now with these examples. Okay. Don't worry if yours is a little bit different than mine. 그냥 피자나 시켜 먹지 뭐. 그냥 just whatever, just 피자 나. Pizza or something. 시키다 would be to order pizza. 시켜 먹다 would be to order pizza and eat it, literally. But that's how you'd say, I'll just order some pizza. When you mean, you're not just ordering it, but you're going to also eat it. So whenever you mean that you're going to order something and eat it, you actually want to use 시켜 먹다 for that. 그냥 피자나 시켜 먹지 뭐. I guess I'll just order like pizza or something, I guess. Unless you want to buy me sushi. You can say this to your boyfriend, or, you know, if you have a rich boyfriend or rich girlfriend, be like, 그냥 피자나 시켜 먹지 뭐. I wanted to eat 초밥 먹고 싶었는데, 초밥 너무 먹고 싶었는데, 초밥 뭐 먹지? 초밥 못 먹겠지? 초밥 먹으면 안 되나? So you could say something like that, you know, guilt trip them into buying you whatever. But that's the nuance that you get. This could also be like, I don't have any time. I'm too busy. I have to do my homework and my assignment. I don't have any time for dinner. I can't do anything. 그냥 피자나 시켜 먹지 뭐. I guess I'll just order pizza or something. You don't need to necessarily be trying to make them feel guilty. It's just maybe they're doing the same thing. You're just letting them know. You're letting the universe know you're complaining about something. 그냥 피자나 시켜 먹지 뭐. I guess I'll just order pizza or something. This next one I also want you to make. I guess I forgot. Oh well, I forgot. I forgot. How would you say I forgot? Nikki, welcome. Been lurking but wanted to say hi and I'm here. Yeah, thanks for coming. Twix, yeah, if you said you would use 시키다 by itself, if you're just talking about ordering it. Like, for example, 내가 시켜줄게. I'll order it for you. You wouldn't say 내가 시켜 먹을게. I'll order it, but I'm going to eat it. Okay? I'm letting you know. I'm going to order it and I'm going to eat it. You wouldn't say that. So you would use 시키다 for any sort of situation where you're simply ordering something. You also might need to order something on the internet. You wouldn't 시켜 먹다. You have to order some air filter, for your house air conditioning system or whatever. You have to order like a bottle of, face lotion or something. You're not going to 시켜 먹다 that. So yeah, you would use 시켜 먹다 when you're talking about delivery food that you mean, I'm going to get something to eat. Like I'm going to get a pizza. We might just say, I'll get a pizza, but in Korean, they would say order it and eat it. It's just a different way of expressing the same thing. William Norris, 까먹었지 뭐. 잊어버렸지 뭐. Nice. 잊었지 뭐. Good. 잊어버렸지 뭐. Molly Bulda. I'll just say Bulgari. Molly, you want to use the past tense. So past tense stem. So not 까먹지, but 까먹었지. So as you can also find the spelling on one of the other people's examples. Awesome though. I like though that you were the first to try to use 까먹다 for forget. Anissa says 시키다가 먹다. That would be different. You would use 시켜 먹다 to get something and eat it. 시키다 먹다 would have a completely different meaning. That would mean you actually never ordered the pizza. And I have a separate lesson about that, what the nuance is for how that 다가 form is used. Today on Go Billy Korean, how to guilt trip in Korean. That's right. KiCat is the master of that too. Billy. Make me sushi. Something like that. Kiket's in the closet actually taking a nap or something. Okay. Gamba kechibo. Nice, Bonnie. Nice. Totally forgot about that one. Okay. I'll give you an easy one. 잊었지 뭐야. 잊었지 뭐야. I guess I forgot. 잊었지 뭐야. I guess I forgot. Okay. So it's pretty easy to use. Next one. I just did it myself. I just did it myself. How would you say that? I just did it myself. Whatever, I just did it myself. In this situation, in this sentence, you actually might want to translate it as, whatever, I just did it myself. Because you're saying, I just did it myself, and there's nothing that can be said or done about that. Whatever, I just did it myself. Normally Kiket has a 50% speed increase applied to her voice in post-processing. But we'll just say she's got a cold. Nice. Kevin got it first. Kevin got it first with all of it. Maz asks a good question. What's the difference between 잊어버리다 and 있다? I actually have a full lesson about how to use 버리다. But the really short answer is 버리다 adds emotion to your expressions. So you can think of it as stronger versions of whatever it is you attach it to. So 잊었다 is just, I forgot. 잊어버렸다 is, I forgot. But there's more to it than that, and I would check out the live stream I have about 버리다 for how to use it. Sophia. Oh, quick, Sophia. Your sentence is right. Just your spelling for 알아서 would be from 알다, to know. So 알아서 하다. But yeah, your sentence is good. 알아서 했지 뭐. Yeah, I figured it out. 그냥 혼자 했지 뭐. Nice, Anna. I like that you added that. Riot X Van asks, can I use 혼자서? Yes, you can. 혼자 and 혼자서 are both fine for saying something by yourself. Although you wouldn't be able to use 혼자서 with 이다, like I am alone, but for when you're using it as an adverb, it's optional. Does it always work in a future tense? No, because it doesn't mean I guess, literally, as I explained that in the beginning, so you might have missed that from the beginning. It doesn't literally mean I guess. It's just the feeling of, I guess. 직접 했지 뭐. Yeah, I just did it directly. I just got it done. Although 직접 wouldn't, Brenda also asks, 직접 though wouldn't mean by yourself necessarily. It's more like in person, I think. 직접 만나다. It's like to actually go meet someone in person. 직접 가서 얘기했어. Like I went in person. I went in person to meet them. So you could say 직접 했어. Like I took care of it myself in the sense of directly took care of it, not in the sense of by myself. So there's a different nuance for that. I would say in this one, you'd want to use 혼자 or 혼자서. 홀로. 홀로 is not commonly for that sort of purpose. It does mean alone though. And it has the same origin, I believe, for 혼자, but I'd have to double check that. Okay. 혼자 했지 뭐. Hey, 혼자 했지 뭐. I just did it myself. Hey, whatever, I just did it alone. 혼자 했지 뭐. I just did it alone. Someone's like, hey, did you ever get anyone to help you with that project? 혼자 했지 뭐. I just did it myself. Don't worry. But you actually you want them to feel bad for you because you had to do it by yourself. But you're just kind of like, there's nothing I can do. 혼자 했지 뭐. Remind me before I finish the stream today, I should take some thumbnail pictures because I always forget to get a good thumbnail. And then I'm like searching the whole video to find one, and I'll find like a really good pose, but like my face will be like mid word or something. So I got to get some good thumbnails. So remind me when I finish, please. Okay, next sentence. Oh, this is, wait. No, it's not our last one. We still have another one. Okay. Yeah. I guess I should taste it. I guess I should taste it then. I'm going to give you the verb you want to use. 맛을 보다, literally to look at the flavor, but it's not really to look. It's actually here being used to mean to try. So this is how you say taste something. Not as in, can you taste it? I can't taste anything. Not that taste. That's a different taste. That would be, I'll tell you that. 맛이 나다 is like something tastes like something. 이상한 맛이 나. It literally, a strange taste comes out. 이상한 맛이 나. 좋은 맛이 나. It's got a good flavor. Like it tastes like that. That's not what I'm talking about though. 맛을 보다 is like you are actively tasting something, like, you know, lick the spoon. That's 맛을 보다. To see how it tastes. To see how it tastes. So that's 맛을 보다. So I guess I should at least taste it, or I guess I gotta taste it. You're not going to use it like this, though. I'm not going to tell you anything. I just want to see what sentences you come up with, and I'll let you know in advance. Don't worry that if it's not the same as what I have. I just want to kind of see what you're getting with it. But it's a really good verb to know otherwise. You taste something, 아무 맛도 안 나요. 아무 맛도 안 나요. It doesn't taste like anything. 맛을 봐야겠지 뭐. Nice. A thumbnail should be the air pose. Oh, if it is, then I don't have to take a new thumbnail. I'll just use that pose, like that. But I'll do it again at the end. 맛을 봐야겠지 뭐. Nice, Omar. It's not the one that I have, but I don't think anyone's going to get the exact wording that I have anyway. But it's cool to see that people are still making the sentence and it's still correct. 맛을 봐야 되지 뭐. Nice, Anna. 맛을 보겠지 뭐. Nice, Rita. Different ways to say it. I'm impressed by how many people already knew that I wanted them to use the 봐야겠 or 봐야지 form. Tegan Amy says, where do you recommend to start learning Korean? I'll put a link in the chat. You can start with my course. It's completely free. Actually free. I actually did not make this to make money. I just made it because I wanted to have a course. Oh, nice, Sophia. 맛이라도 봐야지 뭐. Amazing sentence. That's even better than I was expecting. 맛이라도 봐야지 뭐. Because I gotta like at least try it, right? I at least gotta see what it tastes like. 맛이라도 봐야지 뭐. Okay. For mine, I have 맛만 봐야지 뭐. 맛만 봐야지 뭐. I guess I gotta try just to see what it tastes like. I guess I should at least taste it. 맛만 봐야지 뭐. This 야지 form is a shortened version of this form here. When you say you have to do something with the verb 하다, you would get 해야 하다, or maybe 해야 되다. So you could say something like 해야 해요. Well, here you could get 해야 하지. This shortens and you get 해야지 as one word. 해야지. In this case, 보다, you could normally say something like 봐야 돼요. I have to look. 봐야 하지. 봐야지. That's all it is. Most often in conversation, it will shorten to 야지, or if you're being more polite, you'll also see 조. So 해야죠. 봐야죠. 맛만 봐야지 뭐. I guess I should at least taste it. Okay, I'll leave that up for a second. We're doing really good on time. We're going to have some time at the end for a Q&A also. And I have one more sentence to give you. And if you want an additional, I think 7 or 8 more sentences, make sure to check out the worksheet also on Patreon that has a bunch more examples of this form. I really think it's good if you get as many example sentences as possible to familiarize yourself with how a form feels. But if you've got it from this lesson, then you don't need that. So, okay, let's check the chat for a second. Benjamin, thanks for your charity, Billy, providing good resources and useful teaching to people who want to learn Korean. Glad I can help. Why does 보 sound like 보 or 보? The reason is because you're expecting an M from or whatever language it is you normally speak. You're expecting the Romanized version. So when your brain is expecting M and you hear 보, your brain's thinking, what is that? Sounds like it's not 모. Sounds like maybe like a B, like a softer. The reason is because the mium, that letter, is soft. It's not mo, it's wo, and your brain isn't used to that sound. So it compares it with what it thinks it sounds like because the only reference it has is romanization. And with time, that will go away. You will no longer hear it as bo or bo. You'll hear it as bo. You'll hear it exactly as it is. Because you'll know that the actual B-up letter would sound buo, buo. It would sound different than buo, buo. But you're not used to that yet. It just takes time and practice. Nico says, I have to go, but do you think there's such a thing as being too old to learn Korean or any language? Too old to learn? No. I know people who have learned Korean to various levels in their 70s. I mean, if you're 80, I don't know. I don't know anyone who started learning Korean. Not personally, who started learning Korean in their 80s, but there are people out there who started learning Korean in their 80s. How good can you get? Really will just depend on how much exposure you're able to get. And if you're getting really old, for lack of a better term, if you're getting really old and you have trouble remembering things, then it could be more difficult. But that's not because of your age so much. That would just be because of your memory. But really, it doesn't just come down to memorizing anyway. If you're trying to learn Korean by memorizing and relying on your youthful brain to memorize things, you're not going to go very far anyway. In order to learn Korean, you have to be using the things that you're learning. You can't just listen. You have to do lots of listening, yes, but you need to be using it or else you're going to just forget it. It's not going to stick around unless you're able to use it. So I don't think your age has that much to do with it. Obviously, very young people have an advantage. But beyond that, young teenagers, if you're not starting as a young teenager, you're still going to have to go through the same stuff, whether you're 20, 30, 40, 50. And while you definitely have an advantage being younger, there's not a cutoff point that I know of where I could say, oh, I've never met anyone who's never learned Korean at this age. I've met people learning Korean at all ages. And the thing that makes them actually get good at the language and the common denominator between every single one of them who speaks good Korean, no matter their age, is are they using the language? And that's it. The ones that use the language learn the language. The ones that sit at their desks and only study or only do, listening, no matter their ages, are the ones that don't get able to speak the language. So whatever your age is, whatever you're learning, you actually have to be using it. And if you're doing that or not. So if you're using it, you're going to be okay. Yeah, Steve Kaufman, he did Korean for a while. I don't know his age, but he's definitely more than 60. I'm sorry if you're not. I'm sorry if he's not. I just assumed. I thought he's in his 70s, right? Anyway, he's one example, but I know others as well. I'm 56, so should I be fine? Ah, yeah, 55 is the limit. Sorry, 56, too late. Too late now. Yeah, you're fine. No, it's not Q&A time yet. We have one more sentence. Okay. I sometimes get messages in email. They're like, "Hey, Billy, I'm your fan. I'm 60 something years old." They're like, I'm going to Korea. I can speak, regular conversational Korean, whatever. So yeah, it's definitely doable. Okay. This example is perfect for what we're talking about. The sentence I want you to make is, I guess I should just give up. I'm sorry, I didn't plan this. I mean, I planned the sentence, but I didn't plan. Yeah. I guess I better just give up. Oh, well. How would you make this sentence? I'll give you one hint. You're going to want to use that form that I showed you, the shortened form. Nice. Steve Kaufman, is there a comedian too? Are you confusing Steve Martin? Steve Martin, the comedian? Worldwide renowned banjo performer, Steve Martin. He also does comedy on the side. Kimochi20 says, I'm 30 preparing the EP. Yeah, 30 is zero issues. I'm in my 30s. Zero issues. I'm still improving a lot. In fact, the most that I've seen myself improve has been in my 30s. That would have been 2016 to 2018 was the biggest jump that I noticed for myself. I'm still improving today. I can go back and look at my speaking from a year ago, 2 years ago, and I still see improvement. But that was like the biggest jump, and that was in my 30s, and I wasn't even in Korea during that time. 저는 아줌마, I know someone in their 70s learning Korean. Yep. It's totally a thing. Like I would say, it's not so much about your age, as long as you're still healthy, mentally healthy to learn. Some people, unfortunately, at any age, some people might not be able to learn for various reasons. Just like they might have problems with language processing in their own language, which can happen. But if that's not you, if you're older, does that mean you might have to do more practicing than someone who's younger? Yeah. But that doesn't mean that you can't do it. 포기해야. Yeah. I'm feeling sad to read all of these examples. They're correct though. Just because of what we were talking about. Yeah, I think they're confusing Andy Kaufman and Steve Martin together. And you get Steve Kaufman. 포기해야지 뭐. Okay, let me give you the answer. But great, lots of correct answers in the chat already. I don't like how I wrote this P up here. 그냥 포기해야 하지 뭐. 그냥 포기해야 하지 뭐. I guess I better just give up. I guess I better just give up. Oh well, whatever. I guess I better just give up. 그냥 포기해야지 뭐. 그냥 포기해야 하지 뭐. Don't give up though. But that's the example. Okay. I'll leave this up for just a second. Okay, that was a second. And that is our lesson. And now we'll have about 20 minutes where you can ask questions. They can be related to this lesson. They can be related to another topic. Does that make sense? Do you have any other questions about this form? Like, if there's anything that if you can take away one thing from this form, it would be, I really want you to take that away from this lesson. I'm not joking. It's that feeling of like, there's nothing I can do, or there's nothing you can do about it. like in a kind of a giving up sort of feeling. Maybe you're trying to do it to get sympathy from the listener, but you're not necessarily giving up in yourself. You're just like, meh, oh well. It could be in a playful way, like, oh well, I guess I got to do that. But it could be in a, sympathetic type of way, like, oh well. So yeah, I want you to take that away from the lesson. Me and my flatmate like to fake fight in Korean. Yeah. After your friend says an argument and they win, they said the perfect thing, you could just be like, 알았어, 그래. 네 말이 맞지 뭐. I guess you're right. And then you get to win. You get to win. 나 뭐 어떻게 할 수가 없어. 어떻게 할 수 없지 뭐. 그래, 어떻게 할 수 없지 뭐. 할 수 없어. Nice. Namu says, Billy, any tips on how to start outputting? It's not easy for finding language partners, and I can't afford lessons. Yeah, that's the two methods that I would suggest, but you're like, I can't do those, Billy. No. Like, well, yeah, one thing is to find language exchange partners on the internet. I can't do that. Well, another option is you can hire a cheap tutor. Well, I can't do that, Billy. So that's what I would suggest, though. Find a language exchange partner. You find them online. You don't need to be in a specific place to find a language exchange partner. In fact, many of my friends I found over the internet, so through apps, language exchange apps, without being in Korea. In fact, I usually don't find them when I'm in Korea because it's kind of weird for me to find a language exchange partner and then be like, hey, let's hang out. I'm in Korea right now. No, usually I'll meet them while I'm in the US. We'll talk for a bit. And then when I go to Korea later, it's like, hey, I'm in Korea. And then we might meet up. And then if we get along, then we can become friends. Just use a language exchange app. There are lots of them. I could recommend, Tandem, HelloTalk, but there are pros and cons, lots of cons to them, but they're all the same. No matter what app you use, there isn't a magic app for finding language exchange partners. They all have good things and bad things. So, I don't want to deal with that app. It's too many scammers or whatever. That's normal. You just have to kind of filter through a lot of stuff, but there are lots of people on any app you use. It doesn't even have to be a language exchange app. Just any app that Koreans use that you can connect with them. There are actually like snail mail app. There's a snail mail app as well. I know a lot of Koreans use. I can't remember the name of it. It was some mailbox app. Anyway, yeah, use whatever you like. And then if the other option would be hire a cheap, by that I mean like $8 an hour, really cheap language exchange tutor. Just someone to practice speaking Korean with. Tell them to only speak Korean to you and try that. And that's an affordable option as well for extra practice. Omar says, we say, well, at the beginning of English sentences, and I often see 뭐 at the end of sentences with the same meaning, even independent of the use of 지. Yeah. 그런 거야, 뭐. It has the same meaning. And I mentioned that early in the beginning, really briefly. It kind of has the feeling of whatever. Hi, Billy. So currently I'm learning Korean and another language, and both of them are necessarily for me. I'm not sure what your question is. You might want to restate it. I think there's a word missing. Zandria says, you mentioned that leap that past several years. What resources got to that point? At that actual moment, this isn't what I normally use. So don't think this is what I always do. That specific jump was solely through speaking. It was from introducing an additional method of outputting that I wasn't doing already. So I normally practice speaking regularly, but this was when I started to do it on a weekly basis. I set a goal. It was 2 to 3 hours every single week without fail. And I did that every single week without missing any weeks. That was what it was. But then I continued to do that, and still I would still improve, but it wasn't as huge of a jump as that period was, because that was the first time I started doing that new additional amount of output. Now, if I was trying to get a similar amount today, I would probably have to do something like, let's try doing, 5 hours of listening practice every single day or something like that, some sort of extreme amount. Then I could see another big jump. But when you already reach the advanced level, it can be hard to notice the improvement you're making unless you have it recorded. So I have everything recorded. all these lives, all the times I speak Korean in video is all recorded. So I keep those and I can use them for reference. So it helps me to know how I'm doing, and then I adjust my learning. So at that time, that's what it was. Oh yeah, Slowly. Thank you. Slowly is the name of the app. I've never used it. I've never downloaded it. I've never looked at it before, but I heard another Korean person tell me that they liked that app for practicing their English. So it might be useful for practicing Korean as well. Let's see. Hopefully I'll find a language partner soon. Yeah. Molly says, 아깝지 뭐. 아깝다 would be some things like too bad. Like, I guess that's too bad. I don't think you'd really want to say that though, because you already are expressing something's too bad. So you're like, whatever, I guess that's too bad. It kind of sounds like you might be making fun of them. Like, there's nothing you can do. That's too bad. Unless you're talking about yourself. Like, oh, well, 돈이 아깝지 뭐. Well, I guess it's a waste of my money. I don't know. It just kind of sounds a little bit awkward, but it's not grammatically wrong. You could say it, but I can't think of a situation where you would say that. Because already just 아깝다 by itself is like saying, well, that's a waste. Bonnie says, thank you. You're welcome, Bonnie. 수고 많으셨습니다. 다음에 또 봐요. Oh, I meant that I need both. Oh, okay, need both of the languages. I see. Both of them are necessary for me. So you need to learn them. You're learning Korean and another language? Well, how much Korean you learn is really just related to how much time you're spending learning it. There really isn't a magic formula for that. So if you're learning another language, all it means is you're taking time out of when you could be learning Korean and learning the other language. It's not going to mess up your languages. You might have times where you confuse the words for words you're still learning, like words you're not confident about yet, but that's not really a big issue. It's really just, are you still able to devote enough time to learning Korean? Like, how much time were you doing before? If you were to only do Korean, like maybe you would do 20, 30 minutes a day with Korean, but now you're doing both. So now you only have 10 minutes a day. Well, yeah, it's going to be hard to learn Korean on 5, 10 minutes a day. So yeah, it's just how much time you're able to put forth into it. I was trying to say put into. But it's not really going to negatively impact your Korean learning unless you're not spending any time. Okay, just 5 more minutes and then we're going to stop for today. Then I'm going to go edit this abridged version and upload that. Anissa says, I'm learning Japanese after getting to a point in Korean where I can express a lot of my thoughts freely. Japanese, Korean are similar, like their vocab. Yeah, vocabulary is, that's true. The reason the vocabulary is similar is because of the kanji. It's because of the hanja. That's the reason why they are the same. It's about 60% of both languages share the same vocabulary through Chinese. Someone mentioned slowly. Let's check up if I missed anything. Anissa, you also asked earlier, would it be bad to use this form in formal situations? Yes, I mentioned that you wouldn't use this in formal situations because the ending is not a formal ending. Ji and jo by themselves are not formal endings, but you could use them with honorifics to make them more polite. But this form could not be because the mo at the end would make it automatically not formal anymore. Like you wouldn't go, like I said, you wouldn't go to give a speech and you're like, well, I guess, blah, while you're like announcing the launch of a new product in front of all your shareholders. You're like, I mean, I guess we're going to sell a bunch of these things. I don't know. Like you wouldn't do that. You know, you're wearing a suit. Everyone's like on this really long table drinking their coffee. I don't know if you see here, I mean, I guess looks like the sales are going up or something. Like you just wouldn't use this in a formal situation. It's automatically not formal. I hear this 어쩌? I'm not sure what you mean. You might have to give an example. Yes, more importantly, the same word order makes it Mostly the same word order. Mostly. Not the same. Generally, though, it is. 선생님, 좋은 아침입니다. Good morning, yes. You don't really need to say 좋은 아침, though. It's kind of a humorous way to say good morning. Simply, they just say 안녕하세요 for all times of the day. So you can use it in the morning, afternoon, evening, really late, really early. It's always just 안녕, 안녕하세요. The particles, no, Anissa, check out, I have a video actually about this. One of them compares the topic and subject markers between Korean and Japanese. Another video I have, which is learning Korean through Japanese, I believe. And that one I talk about the particles. They're not the same. That is a common misconception. They cannot be exchanged in like any situations. You can't switch them. With exception of the subject and topic markers, which I talk about that. Which is actually interesting. I talk about how the subject marker ka in Korean was introduced probably through the Japanese occupation of Korea, or I guess this would be the invasion in like the 1500s. And before that, it didn't even exist. It wasn't used in Korean very much. So I actually talk about that in the video. So you can watch that. It gives kind of a lot of insight into why things look similar, but why they're not between the two languages. 안녕하세요. Yes. Okay, I think that's it. It's 3 o'clock. I don't want to go on for too long. Appreciate everyone staying around. And hopefully this lesson was useful for you today. I will see you again next time. 그럼 다음에 또 봐.